people have to unite around the students, like the way they were united during the revolution. I really would like people of Bangladesh, please support the students. Please do not support these old political parties who are just gagging for an election to take it to status quo, back the country to the dark ages. Really, we are not ready for democracy. We know everything is rotten. The whole country is rotten. Yeah, people are collecting money every day from the street. Misery of people. Yeah, prices are out of control. Syndicates are everywhere. So this government can't tackle it. Okay, again, just like the way after the revolution, students were managing the traffic lights. Yeah, I want students, forget about your studies for another 1 or 2 years. Go in every single part of the country, police the country, because these motherfuckers are not capable of it. They are not capable of it. Take over the country. Okay, this is what we have to work with. Dr. Yunus have to work with his kids. Have them everywhere, policing the country. Honest people policing the country. Get the country straight. Yeah, any thugs talks about election, shove it on his ass. Yeah, shove election up BNP's ass. These bastards. Yeah, there is no election. There can be no election until you get rid of all the crooks, local level. Yeah, you get rid of everybody, so they can fund their crooks through corrupt activities all over the country. You can't have them. Sort that out, and then you can have an election, because then there is a platform for election. There is a platform for democracy. There isn't any. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. It's been a while. I'm quite busy as well and really don't have a lot of time. And also, I felt that the new government, you really have to give them some breathing space, because the task is Herculean. Yeah, it's an Herculean task, and I think it's going to take about 5 years for Bangladesh to become in some sort of functional state. So nobody can expect anything in 3 months really. So I wouldn't get too worried about it. The reason I felt like doing this video, there's a reason. I think it's all about the direction. So we need to make sure that we are going in the right direction. I think that is where the problem is right now. So quite a few things I wanna discuss. First of all, I'll talk about Dr. Yunus, and then the government, who is in different ministry, people, their capabilities and their performance, and then perhaps I want to talk about the geopolitics of it. What has changed following Trump's re-election, and then the geopolitics. Strategically, where should Bangladesh be positioning itself? It is quite an important thing, I think, for all Bengalis to bear in mind. Very, very important. And the challenge in the status quo. This is where, as I said in the last few videos I've done during the revolution itself, that this really is a once in a lifetime opportunities for us, the Bengalis. Yeah, yes, some of us, we are not in the country, we live outside, but our heart is always in Bangladesh. We want the best for our country, and just the way we have done, we fought this war with our remittance, we will do it again if needs be. And we know how it works, because Bangladesh, on the foreseeable future, it will need the country to survive, to sustain itself. It will need the foreign remittance. Just that's a fact of life. So that's why we hold that trump card, and we will play it. Whenever we need to play that card, we will play that card, because We want to build the country. We don't want the country to go back to where it was. Otherwise, what's the point? Why did all these kids die? Yeah, as I said many times, the promise I saw in the eyes of these kids, of this generation, I felt so proud. And there is now a conspiracy, you can see, to sideline these kids. Yeah, so we go back to status quo with these old bastards who are crooks, professional politicians. These people do not have a love for their country. These people, that's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to gang up on these young kids, trying to sideline them, and so that they can go back to where they were. Yeah? And as I said, for the Bengalis, if you do not take this opportunity and support these kids, you will be destroyed as a nation. You will be another 50 years gone. You will remain exactly as you are now. Yeah? And if you play your card right, you can join countries like Vietnam, countries like Indonesia. Look what they're doing to their economies. Yeah? Malaysia, we can be exactly like that. We can be stronger than them. But you have to play your cards right now. So I will just tackle the point by point, really. Yeah. First of all, I want to talk about Dr. Yunus. Now, I'm not personally a very big fan of Dr. Yunus because I don't think he's that clever. I don't think he has done anything great, personally speaking. Because remember, Salman Rushdie, he has got Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, literary award. So there is if you are a Islamist, if you have got any Islamic ideology in your bone, they will never give you a Nobel Prize. So Dr. Yunus got a Nobel Peace Prize based on what? A microfinance, entrepreneurship, which, again, nothing new. It's been there since the day of dawn. And then if you know the Jewish people, this is what they always did all their life, this microfinance. And that's why they are hated all over the world in some cultures because of this interest riba based structure, which made them very rich but impoverished many. Okay, so I don't think Dr. Yunus did anything clever. He's not that much of a clever entrepreneur. So that personally, and also is very much against my ideology, what I believe in. I think a riba-based model is a model of oppression, injustice. It's not the right kind of model. Anything with the risk-based, profit-based model will be a better model. And there are many pioneers in the world, but they wouldn't get Nobel Peace Prize because it doesn't fit the anti-Islamic, pro-capitalist agenda. Okay, so that's the reality. This is why I don't value him very high. Okay, that's my personal opinion of him. But I'm also very pragmatic because I believe right now Bangladesh does not have much of a choice. Yeah, he's the best we have because remember, a state is not just about managing something. I think at the top of the leadership, there got to be somebody who is acceptable in the eyes of the world. Very, very important, right? So this is why I think we don't want to have many choices. Yeah. So Dr. Yunus is our best bet. We have to give him a try. But I don't think he's that capable. He wouldn't be a very good manager. He wouldn't be a very good visionary. I don't think any of that. So yes, we have to have him, but we have to have the right kind of people around him. The bank of intellect. We have to have the right kind of leadership and intellectual structure around him who can support him in shaping the future of our country. Okay? And I really thought that's what we were going to do, but unfortunately, I think last 3 months, what we have seen is an absolute disaster. Yeah, it's an absolute disaster. Okay, so just finishing off about Dr. Yunus, I'm not very big fan of him, but I see his purpose. Okay, so I wouldn't criticize him too much. The guy is quite old. Okay, he's limited in terms of what he can give. Okay, he's trying his best. And one thing is very positive about Dr. Yunus is this: he doesn't need money, he doesn't need fame. Okay, so that really fits in very nicely what we want of him. So I wouldn't criticize him much. The next question comes to about this all the team of people around him. I mean, first, of course, you have to give him some time to settle in and stuff. But as you can see, they are a complete disaster. Most of them are incompetent, do not have a clue. I personally can run most of this organization better than these idiots can. I really do. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people like us, yeah, all over the world. We can run these things better than these nutcases, absolute nut jobs. Yeah, there's a two things here. First is your technical capabilities. I would have thought these people will have good people under them, so who can do the job technically very well, run the strategy, operate everything. So it looks like they've got serious lack of team behind them. And secondly is the communication. They're awful communicator. Awful. That's so bad. Because in the Western countries, most of the countries are like that. It's not that we have got very competent politicians. Most of them are, you look at the UK here, incompetent, idiots, absolute idiots. But the people around them, people who runs these ministries, they're competent people. So you need the people who are doing the work, and then you focus on communication. So if a politician is not very, I understand these guys are not politicians, but they need to have a communicator for each of this ministry who can communicate well to the people so that there is no misunderstanding, they're on track. It's really, really important. I think this is where they're going seriously wrong, because people are completely misunderstanding them. They're not, whatever they're doing, I'm sure they're doing some things right, but they're not communicating very well. Yeah, so they're getting a lot of stick from everybody. Okay, so I think my instinct is this: these people are completely unfit for the job. But it's only 3 months. It's okay. A proactive leadership will realize when things are wrong. When all these people, like you can see all over the people, everybody, we all of us. This is our government. We do not want this government to fail. Okay, we don't. So we really want it well. But this is where the leadership needs to listen. You have to listen to people who are giving you proactive criticism. Why you are not right? Why not the right doing the right thing? I mean, look, two things like should have happened within 15 days. Yeah, and it hasn't. It hasn't happened. And first thing is the treatment and the rehabilitation of these kids who were injured, yeah, and people who died. Looking after them, the families. I mean, only last week, they have to go on the street to demonstrate. How disgusting is this? How disgusting is this? A state these kids have given their life for, in a way, yeah? Most of them can't see. Their injuries has not healed yet, and they're not getting the right medical attention. I mean, what kind of incompetence is this? There is no justification for this. So these guys has got to leave. They have to leave their job because this is not acceptable. That means they are the basic duty. This is what their number one duty was, to look after these kids. They haven't done that. Failed. Yeah? Because of them we have got our independence. And if we can't look after them, there is no place for us, basically. These people has to go. They've got to be replaced immediately, with an immediate action. Somebody comes in, say, here we go. On and week by week, this is our target, this is what we're going to do. Rehabilitation of these kids. That is like must, has to happen now. Okay? So get rid of the guys, incompetent idiots, put the right kind of people in place so that this gets done immediately. And we have to bring in a new team, give them a weekly target that show on publicly, you have to come with the press conference, what have you achieved this week? Yeah, with that kind of targets. This has to happen, because if it doesn't happen, the whole thing, it's just like, it'll be so demoralizing for the nation, because this is the first thing everybody wants. Everybody wants to this, for this case to be looked after. So they don't have to come to the street anymore. Why do they have to come to the street? To get justice? It's an embarrassment for us, yeah? And don't tell me the state doesn't have money. If it doesn't have money, ask us. We will raise the money. As so many other people have said, yeah? How much money do you need? Yeah? We done one campaign, the money will be sorted. So why is this not been done? It's nothing but negligence, and there is no two words about it, and these guys have to go, okay? And new people have to come in to look after these boys, okay? Number one. Number two, the second most important job of this government was to neutralize the Kutta League and Kutta League's whole infrastructure, yeah? Yes, it will take 5 years to get it, all of them, but where is your performance? Where is all these top guys, top dogs? Where are they? They were in the protection of the army. Yeah, what happened to them? What happened? Nobody knows what happened to them. Okay, so that is a total failure. So if I'm cynical, I will say this is probably very calculated. But I would like to give them benefit of the doubt. They probably know what I do not know. And of course, taking that decision accordingly. But here, I think to me, this is the recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Because everybody, the whole infrastructure of the Kutta League, of this Butcher of Bengal, is in place. Everything is in place. And things can go very, very quickly out of control. Now, to me, that is a basic common sense. So on what leverage the government is so relaxed about it, this is what I do not know. My fear is this: the political elites, so I'm including BNP and the Kutta League in it together, they have made a conscious decision that they do not want these young people to succeed. They are in cahoots with each other. They want to go back to status quo and run the country the way they've been running for the last 50 years. I think a cynical part of me thinks that is what it is, and they have got a support from, very likely, from India and America. Yeah? They all unite in one purpose. Yeah? That purpose is against the people of Bangladesh. That is like a cynical of me, part of me believes that is the case. Okay? And it is very, very dangerous, because there will be many, many, many deaths. If this is the case, if BNP is in cahoot with this conspiracy, they'll be finished. Just like Kutta League, they will also be finished. And a part of me want them finished. I want BNP to be finished, gone from Bangladeshi politics, because these thugs, we know what they have done. Yeah, already. Yeah, already what they're doing in the country. They're causing mayhem with all the donation, all the connection, all the sanda, everywhere. Corruption is everywhere because of these thugs, these BNP thugs. Now a lot of the Kutta League is coming under BNP umbrella, and as if nothing has changed. Yeah, this cannot happen. I'm urging people of Bangladesh, please. Because it's easy. On my first video I said there are a lot of, I call them undur, yeah? The rats sitting around quietly when people are giving their lives, just sitting. They will always sit. These people will always sit and wait for other people to give their lives, yeah? Now one day you'll see your nation is gone, yeah? You wouldn't have a nation if you've got lazy thugs like that in the country. You are not a citizen, yeah? You are just sitting and just making you think it's a life you're going to create. No, it's very, intangible. It will go. One day it's all gone for you. Yeah? To have a good country, good civilization, you have to fight for it. Okay? So my call to all these undur, yeah, all these rats, yeah, the best thing you can do for your country is do not allow BNP to take control over the country. Do not allow them, because this is a chance. Do it not for you, for your children, for your grandchildren. Do it for them. Okay? Do not allow these scumbags, these BNP scumbags. They're no different from Kutta League. Yeah, they're no different. And you give them the time, 15 years, at this Kutta League hat, they will become probably worse than Kutta League. Because they are same beasts, same animals. These guys, there are of course some exceptions, there are some good people in everywhere. Even Kutta League has some good people, okay? But exclude them. The whole structure, whole political settlement in Bangladesh is corrupt. Yeah? So all these guys all over every single little district, how do you think they're funded? How? Are they on salary? How the MP is paying their salary? They are not. They don't have, there is no salary. So what they do? It's all corruption, isn't it? Okay? It's all corruption. They give them a job here, a job there, give them like responsibility for collecting Sanda. Basically, whole corruption. Through corruption, they collect this money. Okay? Through corruption, they collect this money and they create the thugs, the gangs, yeah, who help them to be in power. This is exactly what BNP is going to do. And this is, if you don't change this, what was wrong with Kutta League? What was wrong with Butcher of Bengal? There was nothing wrong with her. Go back. The whole point, all these lives are given that you want to change that structure. You can't have these animals and gangsters running the country. You can't have that. So what do you do? So that is the job will be this government that, this is called new political settlement. Don't just give election. These thugs, they want an election because they can go back to power. They've been hungry for money for the last 15 years. They want to go back and they want to make their millions and billions like the other Kutta League. That is not the reason why Abu Said gave his life. He wanted to change the political settlement. So that is the duty of Bengali people, yeah, Bangladeshi people, change the political settlement. Okay? I will say take law in your own hand. If there is no law in the country, if just in every areas, create your neighborhood team. Create your neighborhood team with all the young people. Students can lead it. Every time you see some motherfucker trying to collect some sanda, some money, beat the shit out of them. Break their legs. You have to do that. Because you have to change that culture that you do not allow at a very, very local level. You do not allow these illegal activities to go through. If you can break that, this is the job of this government. You have to destroy that so that at that local level there is no political funding like these illegal activities. No. No. Let the politics be the question of ideology. You do politics in your own time, you have to have the ability to do that. You don't do politics for money. You don't do that. And if you change that, that structure got to be changed. Only then you can have a true and fair election. People will come with their proposals, with their ideologies, with their policies, and you vote them based on their policies. Not because of the effect of the gangsters. You have got your gangs in the local areas, they mess about with the election, you get the wrong results, people don't know what they're voting for. They will say, okay, one evil is better than another evil, I will vote. This is not a democracy. And what's the point anyway? Democracy is failing. It's all over the world is failing. Why? Look at America, it's failing. Because American whole democracy is corrupt. It's all funded by the Zionist lobby. Yeah? So you got a massacre, you got a genocide going on. People don't give a shit because they are bought. Politicians are bought. You don't want that democracy in Bangladesh. So that political settlement has got to be changed. And when you are talking about constitution, this is the major thing you have to change. Without that, there can be no election. There can be no election. And I'm guaranteeing you, if that settlement is changed, BNP will vanish from Bangladesh within 2 months. They will be gone because they will have nobody. If these local crooks don't have any money, they will have no breathing space, no oxygen, they will be vanished. And that is the best thing for the country. Kutta League is vanished, BNP is vanished. Yeah, any other corrupt political establishment will be vanished, and then you have people, true patriots with their true ideas, with their true policies, best for the country. They will flourish, and then you have the election. If it takes 5 years, let it take 5 years. Okay. So that is my vision for the country, and I hope every single Bengalis see this vision. And then you'll be proud. One day you look back, you'll say, you know what, we have created a nation. It will be in line with Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore. Is one of those countries. We'll be probably more successful than them. But the foundation is now that path. We have to choose that path. We have a choice. And if this BNP thugs come to in power, that you will never have this choice in another 50 years. Is guaranteed, I'm telling you. So, what are the barriers to this? The main barrier is, of course, is the political elites in Bangladesh. All Kutta League one, they're all there. Yeah, all your journalists, all the crooks, the mafia media industry working for the RAW, yeah, and some element to the CIA. They are not too patriotic. They don't want good for the country. Okay, so that is the main barrier of our country. Now, when we had the revolution, everybody united against them, and I think that force. In the last 3 months, there has been divisions because everybody is for the power. You have to get out of that culture of power. I will tell the student, look, I said it from day one. You got to organize, keep your energy together. Revolution is not over. I'm glad they're doing it now. You really have to organize at a local level. Forget your studies for 2-3 years, boys. Forget it. Build a nation. You'll be heroes forever. Forget your studies for 2-3 years. Okay? And I was saying, you guys should be in the security forces. There's like a police. Go into the police service. Force the government to recruit students, train them for quick 6 months. Get you in the securities, in the forces of the country, because you guys are true patriots. And if any of you are part of any of the other political parties, just forget it. They are run by old dogs. Okay? You create your own parties. You create your own parties. If you are in Chhatra Dal, for example, young kids, look at your leadership. Who is leading you? Bunch of monkeys are leading you. This guy sitting in London, yeah? His father was a great guy. Who the hell is this guy? Can't even talk. Yeah? Is he going to lead a nation? So your responsibility is to change the political landscape of Bangladesh, make the young people run the country. You build your you guys are capable, you are more capable. Probably those 2 students are running in their ministries better than the other old idiots. They're running it better because you guys can do it. Look at the West. Look at the ministers and stuff. These are thick dogs. They're running. You don't need to be too clever. You have to have the right kind of people under you to drive you. When you give an instruction, people can follow you. You set the strategies. You have the skilled people under you to do the job. Okay, so this is what I'm coming from. That you have to unite again, and keep united. Keep united. Be structured at a very local level. Have students. As you got to be organized, super organized for your dream. In fact, it's not a dream anymore. It's about your survival. Because now you can see the BNP is against you. They are conspiring against the students. Why? Because they can see the students being a threat, because these are the future leaders. And they don't want to give away to the future leaders. They want their corrupt system to continue. So they are very much against it. And I will beg to all Bengalis, never vote Kutta League, never vote any of this old thuggish political corrupt idiots, BNP included. Never vote for any of them. You look for fresh blood, fresh ideas, true patriots. Okay? So, just coming back. So, we know who the enemies of this whole structure is. Because remember, these people, most of these people didn't have much to do with in the and the fight for the freedom. They didn't have much to do with it. They are benefiting the result, but they haven't much to do with it. So that's number two. They are the main barriers. Second barriers is of course the geopolitics, which I believe probably is one of the reasons why Dr. Yunus's hands is very tight. So it might be, I'm not 100% sure, it might be that he had some support from the CIA, very likely he had some support, not necessarily on the ground, but I'll call it a spiritual support, yeah? Because you need that to have the courage for the army to make the decision they have done, yeah, because there was always India there. So it could be the blessing of the CIA. But now, through Trump's election, the whole thing has changed. Because remember, white supremacist, Zionist, and the BJP RSS, these are terrorists. They are terrorists. I call them terrorists. And they are extremists. One thing they have in common, they love each other. They are all capable of doing genocide. White supremacists carried out genocide all over Africa, all over Native Americans. They are genociders. Zionists, you can see live, they're carrying out genocide in Gaza. BJP will carry out genocide in India and in Bangladesh. This is guaranteed. If these monsters are in power, they will one day carry out a genocide. Just write it down, I'm telling you. So it's job of the Bengalis. We have to prevent this genocide. We cannot never allow this barbaric ideology to grow next to us. We have to challenge it. And we can defeat it. We can defeat it from within. Yeah? And Bangladesh has got no choice. So that's why geopolitics is very important. Now, you can see Europe and West is dying. They are dying. Yeah? And the China is rising. They will rise. It is a fact of life. It's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, you look forward 20, 50 years, the non-white world will lead the world. It's a fact of life. But we have got, as a Bangladeshi, we have got a very delicate choice to make. Right now, we really can't survive without the West because our economy kind of depends on it. So we have to draw that very, very careful balance. And I know Dr. Yunus is doing it. That's probably the biggest challenge. Now that Trump has come, it will be more of an isolationist America. He will have lots of tariffs. He's not going to be like the Democrats. So he's kind of different. But he will have a very strong line on China. This is why he will be very close with India. Okay? Now, he will never prioritize Bangladesh if there is any conflict between India and Bangladesh. And India it's our tumor. Yeah? It's a pain all around us. We're in the gut of India. Yeah? So India will never be our friend, unfortunately. BJP, especially these genocidal bastards, they will never be our friend. So Dr. Yunus will have a very, very tough time. Yes, he was very close to the Clintons and the old Democrats, but they are no longer in power. So any chance Trump gets, he will give India the green light. If he does that, where is the protection for Bangladesh? You need that protection. So you need Pakistan. You need all the other neighboring countries. You need China. Yeah? So you have to balance it. You can't. Dr. Yunus has got a very difficult position here, of course. You can't just go in one way or other. No, you have to like the way I believe Vietnam, Malaysia, China, Indonesia, all Philippines, all these countries, they did it very well. If you look at it, they exploited West completely, but they didn't fall out of China. They didn't. They managed a very, very good diplomatic relationship. And Bangladesh has to do something similar. Very, very clever. So they don't want to be in this camp or that camp, but I have to have friendship with both. And you have to protect yourself. We have to protect ourselves. Okay? So that pressure is always going to be there on this government and all future government. So you have to bear that in mind. And the state level, the policies, we really have to tackle India. Our defense was, you've got to be defensive. Yeah, we have to have a national army. Every single young man got to be trained. So the India never dare to even do anything, come even near Bangladesh. Yeah, we want to destroy them if they do. So of course you need nuclear coverage. So have a nuclear coverage with Pakistan, very important. Give China the Tista project. Give China the nuclear submarine, like critical defense infrastructure, work with China, yeah, and have a fast dip to United States. Look, if you have gone agreement, so you have to have something called multilateral, yeah, it's possible. This is where the diplomacy, international diplomacy comes in, isn't it? And then again, this is for the intellectuals of the country, and I believe if we have the right kind of people, we could get it done. Okay, so again, that's a bigger picture. We really have to think about impacts of Trump. I'm not very worried because the guy is an idiot anyway. He says something today, tomorrow he doesn't. He just changed his mind. So, and he's very much focused on America. So I do not think he's one of those warmongers. He looks quite bad, but I don't think he's as bad really. But what it will do, India will take opportunities. Yeah, if India does something bad, America will be silent. They wouldn't say much. And this is what I think. We don't want to be dependent on America. We have to protect ourselves. Yeah, take measures now, so that we've done our calculation. If India goes out of step, how we punish India? We got to do that now. Okay. So yeah, I've covered quite a few things, but right now it's very, very tricky situation. I think this whole government got to be it need complete reshuffle. Yeah, complete reshuffle. But I think more importantly, people have to unite around the students, like the way they were united during the revolution. I really would like people of Bangladesh, please support the students. Please do not support these old political parties who are just gagging for an election to take it to status quo, back the country to the dark ages. Really, we are not ready for democracy. We know everything is rotten. The whole country is rotten. Yeah, people are collecting money every day from the street. Misery of people. Yeah, prices are out of control. Syndicates are everywhere. So this government can't tackle it. Okay, again, just like the way after the revolution, students were managing the traffic lights. Yeah, I want students, forget about your studies for another 1 or 2 years. Go in every single part of the country, police the country, because these motherfuckers are not capable of it. They are not capable of it. Take over the country. Okay, this is what we have to work with. Dr. Yunus have to work with his kids. Have them everywhere, policing the country. Honest people policing the country. Get the country straight. Yeah, any thugs talks about election, shove it on his ass. Yeah, shove election up BNP's ass. These bastards. Yeah, there is no election. There can be no election until you get rid of all the crooks, local level. Yeah, you get rid of everybody, so they can fund their crooks through corrupt activities all over the country. You can't have them. Sort that out, and then you can have an election, because then there is a platform for election. There is a platform for democracy. There isn't any. Assalamu alaikum.